Mukbang, a trend that has both confused and fascinated the general public. You might have seen these videos around. Usually it consists of people, ordinary people, recording themselves eating something. Anything from savory delights to sweet treats or even unusual types of food. If you've seen some of my content before, you might have seen me eat japaguri noodles. It's a trend people either love or hate. But why is that? Turns out it is largely based on culture, society, and our perspective on food. But first, let's get some food. Today I have Korean fried chicken from Chicken Plus, which recently opened in Toronto. Right here I have soy garlic flavor, then I have yangnyeom, which is sweet and spicy flavor, and I also have cheese balls, pickled radish, and peach konjac jelly drink. Oh, and I also got another drink. Bubble tea! Yes! You can find both Tiger Sugar and Chicken Plus in the Midland and Finch area in Toronto, so check them out. Let's start off by defining what mukbang is. It is a Korean word and it literally translates to eating broadcast. Muk is from the verb mukda, which means to eat, and bang is from the word bangsong, which means broadcast. There is no word for this trend in English, so people just say mukbang. Mukbang videos range from someone just eating their dinner that day to giant colorful platters of food, and they use those visuals for YouTube clicks. Many mukbang videos feature ASMR components like chewing, swallowing, sounds people make when they eat. Hearing this description, you might think it's a bit weird. I understand because I thought the same thing at first. I am from Canada, which is in the West, and many Westerners are often confused by this trend. I have heard responses like, "Why? Oh my god, it's gross. How can they eat that much? And this is definitely not healthy." I can relate. I thought like this too. But I think what people don't realize is that there's a reason why specific groups react to these things a certain way and why it's popular. Firstly, eating food in front of a camera, even in the West, is not new. People do it on cooking shows like Gordon Ramsay or Mary Berg, food competition shows like MasterChef, or food tourism shows like You Gotta Eat Here. The difference is that the eating part is not the main point of the show. Usually it's the process, the cooking part. People in the West usually just show you how to make a certain food. Eating is seen as more personal and something that isn't always good to show on camera. The concept of eating in front of a camera, if it's not a taste test, is strange to many people in Western countries. But why? Because it's the way eating food with or without people is viewed differently. For example, in South Korea, it's a common expectation that you will eat lunch or dinner with fellow classmates or coworkers. If you don't participate in eating fried chicken with beer, called chimek, with colleagues after a long day at work, you might be seen negatively. Because in countries like South Korea and many other parts of Asia, they see eating food as a communal activity, something that is meant to be done with others. There are exceptions to this, like going to a PC bang in Korea, where you can play games on the computer and do things on the computer and order food at the same time, and much of the time this can be done alone. This is usually not the case with many restaurants in Korea, however. Some restaurants specialize in jeonggol, or a type of shared hot pot stew, and I've heard stories where people try to go on their own and end up not getting a spot because they are alone and the stew is meant to be shared with 2 or more people. This is not what happens in Western countries. Most people won't think twice about eating lunch or dinner on your own. A lot of people in the West see eating food as something you just have to do. While having a meal with others can be considered a bonding activity in the West, it is different in South Korea. In South Korea, you are expected to be an active member of a community or social group. In the West, individual needs are seen as more important, therefore turning down an invitation to a company gathering is generally accepted as long as you have a reason. There is also a huge fast food culture in the West. When McDonald's was rising in popularity in the United States in the 1970s, the idea of eating there was, "You deserve a break today." It was even the slogan. So what happened? People didn't want to cook and they're too busy for eating together or cooking, so much of the time people want something quick, easy, and tasty. Unfortunately, this did encourage people not to cook homemade, healthier food as much. But what does this have to do with mukbang? The reason I mention these things is because there are roots and reasons why mukbang is seen so positively in Korea. Mukbang gives the feeling of eating good food with another person. Many people in Korea live alone in apartments, for example, and like to watch mukbang videos while they eat their meals. Because it's seen as a communal bonding activity, they get enjoyment out of other people eating good food, even if the other person is on YouTube. In Korea, before the boom of modern technology and advanced society, food was often hard to come by. Korea a long time ago was a poor country, affected heavily by ongoing wars, persecution by neighboring countries, and a lack of natural resources. So because of these factors, many Koreans see food and eating food as something to be thankful for, something to indulge in. There is a good reason why the phrase 잘 먹겠습니다 is said before every meal. 잘 먹겠습니다 is a polite way of saying I will eat well. The concept of eating well is important given historical and cultural context. This is why mukbang is so popular in Korea. As you may know, it's not just Koreans doing the trend. It's pretty much everywhere now. But different people will react to it differently. I think though that with more education and more awareness of cultural experiences, people will get used to the idea and concept of mukbang. Context matters. Because of the internet and social media, people have access to ideas and things they never had exposure to before. So I think mukbang will have more influence soon. We just need to open ourselves up. Because who doesn't want to enjoy good food and see others enjoying it? I know I do, for both. If you haven't seen a mukbang yet, well, you just did. But I encourage you to either check out my video on japaguri noodles or type in the search bar just mukbang and see what comes up and see which ones you want to watch. I haven't finished this yet, but I'm just gonna let my family join in for the rest of it. So, thank you guys for watching. I'm Maple Vicky, and this was mukbang, all about mukbang. See you guys later. Bye.